Hi folks, today I'm going to have a go at tackling the engine bay in terms of cleaning it and detailing it. If you've seen any of my pictures or my videos recently, I managed to get through the seized bolts on the engine cover of this Porsche Boxster. And finally replaced the air filter, and when I replaced the air filter I came to realise that the engine bay was really dirty. You never see it, so really it doesn't need to be cleaned, but then that wouldn't be me now, would it? It wouldn't be a lot of people with that OCD-ness about cars. So I'm going to give it a whirl, clean it. I'm in a communal underground car park where I've got no power sockets and no running water, so I've had to improvise, but quickly show you the kit. I've got a bunch of microfibers ready, microfiber mitt with the little noodles on, just good to get into little nooks and crannies. Bunch of microfiber towels, again useful, either use my finger or to prod around with a brush. Some drying microfibers, good for soaking up the water when I rinse it down, and just a soft fluffy towel to put on the paintwork while I'm leaning over it. In terms of cleaning, my APC of choice today will be, for the first time, something called elbow grease. Specifically says on the back of it it's suitable for using on engine oil, and I've seen quite a lot of other people in the States use this too. Gonna give that a whirl. Got some bristled brushes. I'm not really planning on using the metal ones, but they came in the set. The one on the right is nylon, so that should be good for tackling some of the more stubborn dirt that's caked onto the boots and the hoses. And then just a paintbrush that should do the job. I don't have my proper detailing kit with me, so I couldn't get out the detailing brushes, but should work. And I've got some descaled water in these bottles. Again, had to improvise because there's no running water down here. Went for descaled because I want to minimise leaving any water spots behind. I don't have a blower or anything like that, so it'll do. And then for the dressing afterwards, debatable which one of these I use, but you can use either of them really. One's a tyre dressing and the other one's specifically for trim, especially because the engine bay is going to get filthy again quite quickly. I wasn't too fussed about going all out with my usual branded detailing products. Auto Extreme is a new budget brand apparently, but willing to give it a go and see how I get on. So next step is going to be put the car into service mode, get access to the engine bay, and start to tackle the dirt. Cool, car is now in service mode. Towels laid across here. I also decided to just use some plastic bags to cover the sides because there's a bit of carpeting there and I'd just rather it not get wet. Does not a big deal for me, to be honest. If it does, I'm not that bothered. Not really protected the bit back here. Again, I'm not too fussed if it does get wet, if I'm honest. There you go. You can see the general dirt and grime on the engine bay, all over the components. The bit that really motivated me to actually clean it is because of the oil build-up on the intake boots there and the plenum here. Because what I want to make sure is that this is just kind of normal build-up of oil, because the engine's never been cleaned, rather than there being an actual issue with the boots or the gaskets in terms of a crack or some kind of actual oil leak that needs my attention. Yeah, so kind of preventative maintenance in a way. Always best to have a clean engine bay, then come back to it to see if something's not quite as it should be. The other thing I did was I removed the front engine cover. I took off, again, that kind of carpeted cover there, because I didn't want to get that wet, but also it gave me better access to the alternator, which you don't really need to cover on cars anymore. The alternator will survive as long as you don't completely submerge it in water, but just as an extra precaution, I came around this side and went through here just to cover the alternator with a microfiber, mainly because I'm pedantic, but yeah, didn't really need doing. So should have everything covered. We'll get underway. What I'm going to do is start at the top and let gravity do its work. So degrease, rinse, and let it kind of flow down. No point starting down here and then having dirt drip all over the bottom. Work my way down as you usually do when you detail. Okay, phone off, and I'll try and take some pictures and videos as I go along.